First spin and from a fucking bronze. Wow.
Hey. Sometimes you solo YOLO when you get there.
That was Coreza did it. Oh, white base is coming in. What the hell is this?
Oh shit, you got a 4-star, let's go!
Watch it be a repeat.
Come on, double Zeta. Double Zeta.
Nah, it's a new Gundam. Millionth new Gundam. Pain. I can just blow this one too then.
Man, Magnum, I got a freaking RS Jarja. Wrong Jarja.
Hey!
Ooh.
Hey!
Why is it green?
Yeah!
Why is it green? Boo.
Why is that?
Oh, there we go.
Green? I got
Like I just got it out of a fucking single, so we got the Zee Zulu. Also, yeah, the flippers are kind of funny.
so I got...
Hey there, Goose out the 13th. Taking a look at the new suit for February the 17th. It is actually in an aquatic suit. The Zee Zulu is here. So checking this out. First things first, of course, it has ground and water specialization. It is a 2-star suit with melee priority 3 because this bad boy is a raid. Ground only, as you can imagine. Looking at the stats real quick here. From top to bottom, as a 550 suit, we have 19,000 health, ballistic resistance 22, beam resistance 22, melee resistance 22, range strength 10, melee strength 45, movement speed 130, top speed is 210, thruster gauge is 70, and turning speed is 72. For part slots, we're talking close range is 22, medium range is 10, and long range is 8. We take a quick look at the weapons here. Actually, both of these are kind of, well, I wouldn't say baked in for the gun, but it's just the gun itself, which is a Zee Zulu beam machine gun, and it also has a grenade launcher on it. So this is actually a burst of 5, from what I can see, and it's 550 power, ammo is 20, range is 300, and it also does charge. So the cooldown time between shots is a second. The reload is 13, and the focus is 2 seconds. On the heat claws and heat knives, oh yeah, it actually does have that in there. I don't know why I didn't see that earlier, but this actually instant knockdowns, which is interesting in and of itself. Pretty nasty downswing on this. And we also have the Zee Zulu heat knives ×2 as a secondary melee. Does like 2 stabs on an advancing. Both of these actually have advancing downswings as well. And then 1600 on the grenade launcher for the damage. Only 1 shot, 300 range, reload is 12. We take a look at the skills here from top to bottom. We have Assault Booster level 2, High Performance Balancer level 1, Force Injector level 2, Melee Combo Controller level 2, Close Combat Program, which as far as I know is new. This is just a new skill here. And it says if equipped with a melee weapon, increases mobility and reduces stagger when hit by a ranged attack. So it seems like it's kind of up in the air as to how much that resistance is. In general, it seems like it might just be more damage control. Others are saying that it's maneuver armor to a certain degree, because if you take note, and we'll go down the rest of it in a second, but it doesn't actually have maneuver armor on it. It also has damage control level 1 on it. If anyone knows the actual resistance that it gives in general, or at least has a good ballpark, let us know in the comments. That would be appreciated. Continuing back down the list here, though, we have Anti-Blast Stabilizer 1, Leg Shock Absorber 3, Aquatic Mobile Shooting 1, Optimized Cooling Efficiency 1, Damage Control 1, like we said, High Performance Radar Level 1, Special Shoulder Add-on Buffer Level 1, Special Arms Equipment Buffer Level 2. Which is pretty nice, because this has a fair amount of, like, little things that are bulky about it, but in general, the silhouette's not too bad. You can actually look at the enhancement list real quick. So, Cooling Support System Level 1, so -3% to recovery time for the thruster overheat. That's kind of an interesting one to have on there right out the bat. Propellant tank, +1 thrusters. Complex expansion slot level 1, so just 1 to all the slots once you get to that. ADPA, which is melee modifier. Increased security is an unlockable here, as well as +4 to melee for the final one at 5250. Scaling on these isn't the worst thing ever. These, of course, being the unlockable ones, are going to be a pretty good jump by comparison. Alright, so with that out of the way, let's try to take this thing into practice and see just generally how it moves and how it does some of its damage. Alright, so let's get up in here. Not bad for the shot. Oh, I actually got that taken off. That's rough. One thing to note right out the bat is that the default settings for the melee actually puts the knives on X, which you might want to change to being circle a little bit, just to try to get in there faster. But as you can see, you can kind of loop in several of those down swings together. We can also show off, and it does indeed instant stagger once, or not instant stagger, but instant knocks down with the claws, even with neutrals. And of course, you can get in multiple swipes if you want. Not super necessary unless you're really just trying to hold someone still, because maybe you have someone else with you or whatever, but it's pretty self-sufficient. Also, something we should probably note is that each charge— oh god, that charge shot actually took off quite a good chunk. And once we get that back up, we will also see the 5-round burst. Grenade launcher, pretty so-so, but still good for an extra stun when you're in between stuff. I'm gonna tell you right now that a lot of these instances of me trying to get in here to hit some of this stuff, probably gonna whiff. That being said, considering some of the things that are also at this cost, even with that extra stun resistance with the melee weapons out, or the damage control itself, this suit's probably going to be pretty prone to blast down. We did actually do some customs earlier today after we got the suit itself, and having this in water because of the aquatic mobility is actually pretty nice, as you would imagine. I don't know how often that's going to be in rotation if you're actually doing rated, depending on when you actually are on. But you should definitely give it a shot. Having those extra jukes and stuff definitely feels pretty great on this. This rifle burns through a fair amount of its ammo pretty quickly. But one burst seems to— well, that's probably not a good indicator. Hold on a second. Yeah, one round seems to go through anything that doesn't really have like damage control or anything too crazy in terms of hitting a stun. We can also check again. That goes through an entire round essentially, or a burst essentially, for the charge. So if you're actually trying to tap this to get a quick stun, you really have to really decide like which way you're gonna go about it, either with the actual charge or with the burst itself, because if you try alternating or get too crazy with letting loose on that, you're definitely gonna run out of shots pretty quickly in this thing. That being said, you'll still have the grenade launcher to lean back on if it really comes down to that. And in general, you're probably gonna have your melee out while you're maneuvering just to try to take advantage of that skill. And depending on the map, especially since you're not really stealthing around, it's gonna be a little bit hard to get in on things. But once you do, this thing is pretty melty. And of course, one thing to consider is that not only does this not have any parts, but the practice suits likely don't either. If we go in here and check out the actual blast down, the rifle's not the worst. The melee can kind of do it, but you're definitely not going to be soloing anything. You're definitely not doing like Agu Gaia levels of like burst down on a fucking ship, and probably shouldn't expect it to anyway, to be honest. That's alright. You can still contribute when the time comes, although, you know, depending, you'll probably just be defending the other ones that are actually doing the real damage. But overall, interesting suit. You can watch the AI whip my ass because I'm sure I'm going to do something stupid while this is running. Definitely one that I feel like some people were waiting for once we actually had some better or just like other aquatic maps to mess with. Military base, I'm kind of wondering if that's going to make— or not military base, but military port. I'm wondering if that's going to make a little bit of a comeback. Oh god, yeah, here it goes. The foolishness. The instant combos. The counterage. I kind of hope that I see it more unrated. It kind of depends on just how the rotations are going to be for this week, considering the suit. Also, like we kind of figured, since clan matches are going to be pretty low cost, it was just an all-dog cost this time around, which I can dig. Glad to have another suit like this in here. Hopefully we get some more, because this is... I feel like for all the examples that we've given in like chat and things recently, we kind of glance over the Zee Zulu, even though this probably should have been one of the more obvious picks. You know, so that's kind of our bad on that part. But definitely a welcome addition. Hopefully we see it around a good amount. Some of the drier maps we might not, depending, just because, like, honestly, there's other stronger, like, suits at this cost for the raid slot. But definitely fun. Hopefully we get some more, like, at least aquatic adapted suits or something in the future. And in general, here's hoping we actually just see more aquatic suits. Like, that's all I really gotta say. Seeing this and seeing how it acts in, like, stuff like military port is pretty cool. In fact, hold on. Let me try to mix some of that in. Alrighty. I probably should have did this in the first place, but, like, in the back of my head, I was like, I don't know how often this is actually gonna be a map that's selected for this, but hopefully they do. So you got the usual stuff, right? You're able to fire on the move with your main gun in the water, which is really cool. It's one of the skills that it has as an aquatic suit. Once we actually get our boost back, I'll try to show out the other usual things. It's been so long since we've had an aquatic suit, and I don't know if I've actually done a quote-unquote impressions video with one. But yeah, big boosts in terms of jumps. You can also essentially have flight control when you're down here, so you can redirect yourself, unlike other stuff. Definitely pretty snazzy. The interesting thing, and I didn't really show it off very well there, is that because there's so many slopes and like hills on this map in particular, if you're actually approaching someone from the bottom up, it should be pretty easy for you to keep digging in with your knives. And of course, if you do your rotations faster than I am right now, you'll probably get some really good combos in there with the downswings. Pretty nasty. Definitely am and am not looking forward to having to deal with this thing, depending, just to get a better feel about how this is going to go in practice. Because even the custom match that we did, it was on this map, but it was mostly like an entire team of us being the new suit, and then just, you know, I think a pretty typical team on the other side. So not a super crazy good indicator of what that's going to be like. In general, pretty enjoyable suit. I'm probably going to flail around and fuck up a lot, especially if I get like caught between like melee and just like flub my weapon swaps or whatever. Definitely enjoyable. Hopefully you guys enjoy it too. It seems like a lot of people got it pretty easily. I actually got this, as you probably saw previously in the video, from a single spin after bombing like 2 10 spins. But the fact that we had such a volume in the custom kind of makes me wonder how easily so many other people got it. So like, let us know in the comments if you actually got this suit, and actually how soon you got it. One of the other guys that was in our group actually got 3 of them in just the first discounted 10 spins. So pretty ridiculous. Obviously not the common thing to have happen, but definitely a lot more common than some of the other drops. Definitely varies a lot from banner to banner. But that'll be it for this time around. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the new suit, and I will talk to you all in the next one.